I'm no expert on racial profiling because it's literally never happened to me. But I'm surprised that Drake believes that he, of all people, light skinned Drizzy, half Jew, half almost black, Aubrey, first name, Graham, last name. Of all people, mega superstar, the most domestic of all rappers when it comes to beef with anybody, thinks that he got profiled. He was in Vancouver Friday night, starting, I guess, 2 day trip in the Pacific Northwest in Canada. And after appearing in some small bar show, whatever, and performing a few shows or songs, he decided that he was going to go and gamble at the JW Parq Vancouver, which I guess has a hotel and is probably really, really exquisite. But they're not as exquisite as Drake thought they would be because they just aren't up to his standards, apparently. They're not on his level. They couldn't accept the amount of money he was trying to drop down on the tables and gamble away. Because that's what rappers do. They get so much money, they don't know what to do with it, so they might as well just gamble it. Or maybe Drake is in deep with the Chinese. And that's what we're going to investigate today. Apparently, yes, Drake said he was profiled because they didn't let him gamble. He put out an Instagram story last night saying Park Casino at Parq Vancouver, BC is the worst business I have ever witnessed, man. Trying to talk like a Canadian, of course. Profiling me and not allowing me to gamble when I had everything they originally asked me for, dog. I hope I summarized how Drake sounds Canadian. So yeah, basically Parq Vancouver came back and said we stand against racism of any kind, and they issued an apology to Drake for the profiling that may have happened. Basically, the president even came out tonight and said, "You may be aware of a situation at our casino last night on behalf of Parq Vancouver. We would like to apologize for the experience our customer had," and I'm guessing the customer was Aubrey Graham. "We are operating in one of the most complex, highly regulated industries and are always looking to better our communication and customer service. We are constantly improving our communications process to ensure that these new regulations are better understood by all guests. We categorically stand against racism of any kind. We are committed to providing a safe, secure, and enjoyable experience for all." So, Parq Vancouver, BC, the president, as well as I believe the director of the casino, both came out and said, we're really sorry, Drake, that this happened, but you just didn't understand our rules. And perhaps the person that was working there didn't really do a good job of explaining them to you. But of course, Drake being who he is, and having the social media following that he has, and I don't know if he was there with his homies, and they were getting pissed off as well, and they say, "Yo, Drake, you should probably put this on Instagram, man. You should let the world know you've been profiled, bro. Light-skinned, nearly white-looking Drizzy Drake got profiled at a casino." And so he did. And his fans, his loyal following, they followed through. I mean, some of the posts that you see on here are pretty crazy. Someone on Yelp wrote, "Profiling the sixth god? You're done for," said Louis M. of Park Merced, San Francisco. Is that even a place? I don't know. "Should have let the man gamble. I would definitely never come here for after hearing about this. I'm sure the same will apply to millions of Drake's." Yeah, Louis, first of all, you have 0 friends on Yelp, and this was your 3rd review. You've never been there before, and you probably would never go to this place ever. Someone else who has 4 reviews and 0 friends on Yelp wrote, "Racist," gave it 1 star. "Don't go here. We don't condone racism in 2018. Enough is enough. Turn away customer because of their skin color. Trash." I mean, this sound like Donald Trump just wrote this, basically. Someone else, Jonathan Z, 2 reviews on Yelp, no friends on Yelp, from Anaheim, wrote, "Racist establishment," knowing nothing about JW Marriott or JW anything or Parq Vancouver racially discriminates even when you provide them with all documentation. Yes, because we know exactly what Drake provided them. And I'll get into a little bit more about some of the documentation and some of the regulations that the president of Parq Vancouver is talking about here. But these comments just crack me. Unfortunately, even in today's time, it's heartbreaking. Businesses poorly define one's socioeconomic status from skin complexion. What? I'm sorry. If Drake is walking into your hotel, into your casino, I don't think that they're judging him on his socioeconomic status. Look, everyone knows that's Drake. Everyone. Like, nobody does not know that's Drake. You can't just walk down the hallway. You can be in the most remote location in the world, in the jungles of the Amazon in Brazil. If you see Drake, you know it's Drake. It's Drake. Like, it doesn't matter. It's Drake. The little rinky-dink bar that he went to, they knew it was Drake. How's it? Come on. So it's just amazing. Someone on Twitter, so here come the tweets. Racist a-holes. Someone else wrote, racist, not shocked, not one other race in any of your picks. Champagne Poppy. They don't deserve a person of your caliber anyway. You the goat, with a little goat emoji. It's just amazing. So anyway, let's deep dive into a little bit of this. I'm done making fun of people that, you know, just had to vent on a story that they probably didn't really know that much about. Let's go to this report by bc.ctv News. This came out back in like 2017, September 2017. A report obtained by CTV News through the Freedom of Information Act shows that the now well-documented problem of money laundering and British Columbia casinos, and it's been on the Liberal government's radar for years. Basically, it's this thing called the Vancouver model. And if you haven't heard about it, let's talk about it a little bit. Basically, what happens in this Vancouver model, the model, which investigator Peter German said doubles a criminal operator's profits by servicing both ends of the same transaction, was so prevalent and lucrative in Vancouver, where Drake was, that this guy was worried that it would happen in Australia. Basically, let's go through it. The Vancouver model, as described by someone else, said it begins with Chinese citizens who want to relocate money from China to Canada. Those citizens would then make a deal with a lender in Canada to accept the cash in Canada. The lender then links up with a Chinese underground banker in charge of those citizens' accounts, and the two parties settle the transaction. The report said the cash received by the Chinese citizens in Canada comes in the forms of stacks of $20 bills wrapped in a fashion by elastic bands that more closely resemble drug proceeds than it does cash originating at a financial institution. The Chinese person picking up the cash then buys in at a Canadian casino, gambles, and receives either a check or a high denominations bill upon leaving. The illegal lender would then profit not only from the transaction, getting a person's money out of China, but also from the laundering of money, likely from illicit operations such as drug trafficking. So the only part that I could see that could be profiled is if Drake walked in and someone thought he was Chinese. That's literally the only part of this that seems like he could have been profiled. Other than that, if Drake walked in and was trying to put more than $10,000 down, then they need a source. Basically, the new regulations say that these, you know, if you're going to come into our bank to our casino and drop $10,000 on the table, we need to have a source where you got the money from. And it has to be the same day that you withdrew the $10,000. You have to have the source. Basically, all Drake had to do was just stop flexing so hard. Like, just come in with $9,999, give the dollar to your buddy, to one of your homies, to one of your roadies, one of your woes, whatever you call it, and then you could have gambled. But my guess is, and this is just my guess, I'm speculating, and this is a pretty good speculation because, again, you have the president of Parq Vancouver pretty much saying as much, that the regulations just were not understood. But basically, Drake probably he just came in and tried to flex way too hard. And it's unfortunate, but hey, in Vancouver, British Columbia, they've been having an issue. I mean, every article that I've read about, they're just talking about how organized crime is an identified weakness within lower mainland casinos, and it's exploiting this weakness to expand the laundering of large amounts of money obtained by the proceeds of crime. So, like, they're trying to they're trying to crack down on this, Drake. And maybe you didn't understand it. Maybe you haven't been to Vancouver in a while because you've been flexing in Miami and, you know, every other place, and you done forgot about the Canadians and whatnot. But I'm sorry, this is the new normal, bruh. So after new recommendations made this year, casinos are no longer allowed to accept any more than $10,000 in unsourced cash. You got to have a source, and it's got to be reputable. So Drake said he provided all the information, but maybe he didn't know this caveat. And I mean, it definitely shows. And again, this letter, again, Joe Brunini, he clearly said, you may be aware of the situation. We are constantly improving our communications. So for the casino, maybe they just need to have something written down. Maybe, you know, if they knew that Drake was coming, they should have been communicating with him in advance. I'm pretty sure, you know, if Drake didn't know, maybe he just popped into the casino unannounced, like he showed up at the one place and said, yeah, man, I just want to drop down some G's, dog, and I want to gamble, man. I just want to put some money down. You know, he probably came in, you know, he was probably really cordial. And then the person in Parq Vancouver was like, I'm sorry, sir, I can't, look, we have rules and regulations. I can go get my manager. And Drake goes, yeah, man, go get your manager, dog. I want to talk to them. And then he probably had all his boys behind him. Yeah, man, come on, go get him, man. We gonna fight tonight, man. Yeah, Drake, man, yeah. And so they got the manager. They probably got the executive manager. They got they probably got everybody. And Drake was just like, nah, man, this is profiling. Nah. It was not. I'm sorry. I don't think it was profiling. Maybe we'll hear more. I haven't heard anything back from Drake. I feel sorry for the people that were involved at Parq Vancouver that y'all had to go through this. But come on. It's Drake. Who can really profile Drake? Look at him. Look at him. Look at me. I have him like I would be profiled. Look at this, okay? And then look at that. No one's going to profile Drake in a million years. We all know who you are, bruh. You just flexed too hard. You gotta tone it down a bit. $5,000 at a time, not 10, not 10 G's. Okay. Let me know what y'all think about this. Do y'all really think that Drake is? Do you really think anyone's capable of profiling Drake successfully, or do you think that this was just clear miscommunication? Drake didn't know the rules. He came in, thought that he could just drop 10K, thought that he could drop something. They said no. He probably got pissed. Whatever. He probably tried to come with 50 something, and they said no, and that's like all he had. You know, he didn't want to put down little meager amounts. Which, hey, to me, you know, I'm a high roller, but hey, Park's not on that level. Vancouver's not on your level, Drake. They got too much going on. Let me know what y'all think about this story, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out.